Ladies, I want to tell you an amazing story because, as you know, stories project such a musar haskel. During the time that Rav Yitzchak Elchanan Spector, alav shalom, was Rav of Kavna, the Russian government issued a harsh decree where thousands of Jewish boys were drafted into the army. Of course, this spelled doom and gloom for the little Jewish boys because aside from the dangers of war, there was the spiritual threat. Every Jewish family dreaded getting that envelope from the army informing them that their son would now have to report to the nearest army office. These families tried everything to get an exemption for their boys, hoping that they could find somebody that could help them in the Russian government, some protectia. And when all options were exhausted, they were forced to resort to bribing the Russian officials. The families would gather their own monies. They raised money in order to save these boys. But after raising so much money for so many boys in the community, it became very difficult to collect the funds. One day, Rav Yitzchak Elchanan was approached by the father of a young man who was being drafted. And he asked for the Rav to arrange for someone to act as a mediator on his son's behalf. He wanted someone to go to the government's office, give them the money, and to obtain the army exemption. Rav Yitzchak Elchanan assured the man that he's going to take care of the matter immediately. Sure enough, a few days later, the boy was granted an exemption, Baruch Hashem. The father was so grateful that the matter was handled so quickly that he came back to the Rav to thank him personally. And while he was there, he asked the Rav, Kvod Rav, who was the person who acted as the messenger? But the Rav refused to reveal who it was. He just kept saying, don't worry, the Macher that I used is the best in the business. But the father kept probing and insisting that the Rav reveal to him who was this Macher so that he could tell people, so that other families could benefit from this Macher's service. So the Rav smiled and he told the man the following. He said, when you asked me to find somebody to deliver the money, this bribe, the truth is I really didn't have anyone to carry out the mission. Za'emet. But a few minutes before you came to me, a poor yatoma, a poor orphan girl came to me and she cried bitterly about her situation. She desperately wanted to get married and build a home. But without an adunya, without a dowry, nobody was willing to marry her. So when you came to my house and you handed me a large sum of money to be given to the mediator, I took the money. I lifted my eyes to Shamayim and I cried out, Ribono shel olam. I can either send this money to a non-Jewish politician or I can give it to this broken Bat Yisrael of yours. And I decided to give the money to the Yatomah and asked her to daven, to pray on behalf of your son. And I believed that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the father of all Yatomim, the father of all orphans, would listen to her cries and her tefillot. And as you can see, this girl was successful in nullifying the Gzerah and helped to save your son from a dreadful fate in the Russian army. The father was shocked, but he thanked the Rav for all his efforts. And as he was walking out, the father stopped. He turned around and he asked the Rav, Kvod Rav, did that orphan girl have someone specific in mind when she said she wanted to get married? The Rav smiled knowingly, and within a few weeks, this young girl's dreams came true. She found her chatan. Not only did she save this young man that she prayed for, but eventually that same young man became her husband. And who made this all happen? The big Macher, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Macher made it happen just as he always does.